Well, that was an experience now, wasn't it? The Vancouver Canucks have just defeated the Columbus Blue Jackets with a score of 5-2. And there are so many talking points that I think bring themselves up from this game that I kind of don't know where to begin. You know what? Actually, I know exactly where to begin. I know that I want to talk about at the very beginning of this video the way in which this game was broadcasted. Because for folks like us, not all of us, but some of us, me included, who have Shaw Blue Curve, a lot of us were not able to watch this game on our TV box. For some reason, on Sportsnet Pacific, this game was blacked out. It said the content was not available in my region, even though I am in the Lower Mainland. There are people that were in Surrey, people in Salmon Arm, people in Victoria, some people that were even downtown Vancouver that were not able to get this Vancouver Canucks game on Sportsnet Pacific. Now, the weird part about it was, if you went onto the Shaw Blue Curve app and you broadcasted the game from there, it was fine. But the TV broadcast from the actual TV box itself, the physical thing that you can plug into your wall, that did not have the game showing properly. It was blacked out. So for some reason, it seems like Shaw Sportsnet ended up crapping out on the game. I saw people on TELUS saying that they were able to watch the game just fine on their Sportsnet Pacific broadcasts, so I think it might have just been a Shaw thing. But either way, this game wasn't really available for some people who didn't have an internet connection and or the Shaw Blue Curve app if you were on Shaw on your TV box. So if you weren't able to watch this game, I apologize, it sucks. TV broadcasters in Vancouver probably need to get their act together when you're blacking out Canucks games in the Lower Mainland, but I digress. This game was pretty interesting because of a few talking points from the fans themselves. Before we get into the goals, before we get into the story of the game, I wanted to talk about the fans because the building wasn't full today. You could see some of the tweets made by NHL analysts and beat reporters from earlier in the night, but the building had I think, not even 50% capacity. Okay, no, 50% might be a little bit too harsh. Maybe 65% of the seats were filled. There was a lot of red. And so even though it was a small amount of fans in the actual building, the fans and their voices, boy oh boy, did they go out there and shout. Multiple times, they booed the heck out of Johnny Gaudreau, following closely with the trends set by other teams like Calgary and Edmonton. They went out there and booed Gaudreau like crazy when the Blue Jackets were visiting them. We had seen earlier in the season as well, teams like Philadelphia and New Jersey also booing Gaudreau because Gaudreau didn't sign with those teams. So it's kind of funny how this guy has become the main enemy out of all these fan bases when he touches the puck in their building because they just start to rain down the boos. But we also had another chant that I thought was very funny in this game as well. Right around the time that Dakota Joshua made it 4-1 Vancouver, we had ourselves a chant that I feel like we got to start hearing more and more of over the next few games here. Because the fans in Rogers Arena, even though they may not have been full capacity, they still went out there and had their voices heard chanting out, "Bruce, there it is, baby." And I'm going to title this video, put the thumbnail and everything with "Bruce, there it is," because the fans went out there and put it in the building. They put the idea in the minds of the Canucks executives up top that, hey, this fan base never forgets. And I saw that some people on social media were saying, after the initial "Bruce, there it is" chants started up, after the Dakota Joshua goal, I think, and I say this with a grain of salt because I'm not too sure if this is actually what happened, but after they scored and the "Bruce, there it is" chants went out, I think the Canucks staff started playing "Walk It Like I Talk It" in the building because they were trying to get the "Walk It Like I Talk It," or the "Rick Talk It," excuse me, to become the new thing. Now, I don't know, we already talked about that in the first video against Chicago about "Walk It Like Rick Talk It," but just hearing "Bruce, there it is" one more time in Rogers Arena, heck, maybe not even one more time. Maybe this is the first time in a series of "Bruce, there it is" chants that is going to continue after Bruce got fired. It's just kind of cathartic, honestly, just hearing that reign true in the building once more. But as we had said, the Canucks win 5-2. They were the better team than Columbus tonight. They had some chances. Korpisalo made some saves. Korpisalo was also helped out by his post quite a lot. Colin Delia, while I don't think he was particularly amazing in this game, he still got the job done well enough to get the dub. But if you go over to the stat sheet for this one, what you're going to notice is that Bo Horvat got 4 assists on the night. He scored an assist on every goal the Canucks had, except for the final one. And when it comes to Bo being this good, I mean, there was an Instagram post or a Twitter post made by the Canucks of Bo waving to his children before the game started, and all the replies were just so savage. This is Bo and his kids saying goodbye to Vancouver. Oh, get one more goal for your kids on home ice, whatever, because he's going to get traded. But I'll say this, man, Bo Horvat trade rumors aside, the guy went out there and boosted his value with this showcase here, getting 4 amazing assists, starting things out with a 1-0 shorthanded goal by Elias Pettersson. It's JT Miller who takes the early penalty, and Bo and Petey find themselves on a 2-on-1. Bo eventually gets the puck away from the Blue Jackets guy, centers it for Petey, who comes in, goes forehand, and makes it 1-0 early. Eventually, though, it's Kirill Marchenko who just a few minutes later responds, and we had talked about Marchenko just a few days ago, how his first 11 NHL points were all goals, and how that hasn't really been done in almost 100 years. We had talked about Joe Malone, Howie Morenz in that video, but nah, he goes out there and gets another goal here. It's an Adam Boquist shot that's tipped down off the ice and behind Delia by Marchenko. It's 1-1, and Marchenko has 10 goals and 0 assists in his NHL career. Incredible. You then had yourselves a little bit more action. There was a Kuzmenko opportunity on a cross crease to bury it into the open net, but nope, it goes off a Cole Sillinger's stick and over the net. But eventually it's Quinn Hughes on the power play just a few minutes later who gets a one-time slapper fed over from JT Miller. He buries it, beats Korpisalo clean. It's 2-1 Vancouver with 6:36 to go, but the score doesn't stay at 2-1 for long as Ilya Mikheyev a few minutes later ends up taking a weird freaking shot. It goes off the end boards, ricochets in front, and bounces off of Joonas Korpisalo's foot and in. With 46 seconds to go, it's 3-1 Vancouver. And before we continue, I just wanted to say here, the Canucks have announced that Ilya Mikheyev is going under ACL surgery. Like, what the heck? This happened after the game? He was playing and he scored a goal. Did something happen in the game, or was this a thing bothering him for a while? Okay, let's get back to the game footage. I want to talk about that Mikheyev stuff later on. But back over to the game tape here. Bo Horvat had an assist on all these goals. He won the face-off on the Hughes goal. He centered it for Mikheyev on the Mikheyev goal. Very nice to see Bo getting the points. I benched him in fantasy tonight in favor of Nazem Kadri, which was a terrible mistake because I'm losing to Audie James. Had I actually played Horvat, I would have been winning, but you can't have them all in life sometimes, eh? Second period comes and goes. You have a few opportunities. Mikheyev almost scored in a power play. A backdoor cross-crease tap-in that barely went wide because it was defended well by Gavin Bayreuther. You had Studnicka on the fast break, who rung one off the post as well. But the third period is where things get crazy as Dakota Joshua scores off the rush. He banks it in off the defenseman in front, and Bo Horvat gets his 4th assist on the night. Bruce, there it is. Chants start to rain in after this goal. And then the Canucks make it 5-1 on the power play later on. It's Miller across to Petey, who takes a shot. It trickles in by Korpisalo, but it stops right on the line. I don't know, man. Is that Petey's goal from Miller and Hughes, his first power play goal on the year? Or was it Andrei Kuzmenko who banged the puck in as it was on the goal line, assisted by Petey and Miller instead? We're going to have a review of the NHL goals later tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to get some confirmation on that, whether or not they're going to do the goal change, give Kuzmenko yet another goal, or just stick it out and give Petey his first power play marker on the year. But either way, it's 5-1. And then it becomes 5-2 when the aforementioned Kirill Marchenko gets his 13th NHL goal with 0 assists. The puck deflects behind the Canucks goal line, and Marchenko shoots it off Delia's back and in, or the back of his leg pretty much, and in. Very tight angle, very creative goal. It's one that you don't really see too many rookies go out there and attempt. But it's a power play marker for Kirill Marchenko, and 5-2 is the final score. So talk to the comments on your thoughts about the Canucks and the Blue Jackets here today. The booing of Johnny Gaudreau, the Bruce, there it is, the inability to watch this game on Shaw Blue Curve. The fact that I benched Bo Horvat for Nazem Kadri, who did nothing today. I would be winning, man. Oh man, if only we could turn back time to the good old days. But talking to the comments on your thoughts, I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.